Welcome to African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk, think program that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. And today we're going to talk about something that we all have to cultivate, that we all have to know. Today we're going to talk about relationships. And in the dominant society, how it's put to so-called black people, so-called Negroes, African Americans, is relationship is just narrowed down to the male female aspect. Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife type thing. You see it in all of these reality shows. But relationships stretch much farther than that. Just the male female. You have a mother. This is you're being the central piece of it. You have a relationship with your mother. You have relationships with your sons and daughters. You have relationships with your next door neighbor. You have a relationship with the mailman. You have a relationship with the clerk at the store. You have a relationship with your doc. I mean, I'll be here all day explaining all the relationships that you have. And the relationships normally fall into three phases. Relationships are like first phase is like the relationships you have every day. Your husband, wife, your children, your mom, your teachers. These are people that you see all the time. You're in constant contact with them. You can reach out and touch them anytime. Then you have your second tier relationships. Second tier relationships are the relationships that you see these people occasionally. These might be cousins who live across town, friends you went to school with. You guys might get together around every quarter and hang out and do whatever. You have those relationships, and then you have these are third tier relationships. These are the people that you don't see often. You might see 10 years at the 10-year reunion, things like that. People you think about all the time, but you don't, you're not in contact with them. Those thoughts, and they're having they think about you too. And when you see people that you haven't seen in a while, they'll tell you, I've thought about you over the years. That thought, the thoughts that you have, the thoughts they have, those are real things. And those are the things we have to focus on because we have powers that we don't know we have, like that bonding thing right there. And we have to start using them in something in a way that's more efficient to us. So all these terms and stuff that we're controlled by. Now today is the 15th of March, 2020. And I don't see it. What's being put out in the media is that it's a major catastrophe out there, whatever's going on. These this is not where our lives are not to be ran by what somebody else says. We are children of the planet. The planet created us. The mud is our home. What's happening on our home to have other people dictate to us what's going on? You, we've been doing this too long. If you see where the world is today, is this what we're handing to our children? Seriously, is this what we giving up? We have, uh, they're telling you that it's a virus going around that's infecting people. And the way they're using these terms, infecting, like, I didn't know I gave it, it's something fishy about that. how they're wording it and how they're putting it all together. Like if I give you some dap, I'm giving something to you. That's how they're trying to plant it into people's mind. And I'm saying for us to cultivate our relationships, we have to do the same thing with our relationships. So the relationships that you have, the first one that you have, and this is one that got to be tight, and we're going to have to change the way we look at things on how stuff happens. And I think it'll help us cultivate this relationship. The first relationship, I think, and foremost with everybody, and it'll make everybody feel way better, is the relationships we have with our mother. Now, I come across a lot of people that say they hate their mother. And I understand that. But this is what we have to understand. The system that most women live under, especially indigenous women, they're not protected. Anybody can do anything to a sister, and no, there's not a nation of men, because we're turning into girls now. We don't say hell no. We don't do that. Brothers, we don't do that. If one person did it, like you saw the brother who went and shut down the nail shop where they dogged the sisters out. I mean, I don't know why he did it, but he did it, and he's all but forgotten. Nobody cares about that. It can't be one person. It has to be a group of men on code all the time, and it's hard for brothers to do that. The relationship with your mother is this, and this is the relationship you should only be worried about. When your mother was pregnant with you, she had all kind of thoughts going through her mind. You talk to any sister that have a baby, and they'll tell you they're thinking to themselves, this kid is going to be Superman. She wants her kid to be the best. She's carrying it because this is one of the only things she has to offer to the world. She's praying and hoping, and all her thoughts are concentrated on this child growing inside of me being the best, being ever. He's going to save me. He's going to change the world, blah, 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 blah. This is what mothers think about when they're, I mean, we're not, I mean, we're there, but when you see a pregnant woman, these are the things that are going through her mind as she's cultivating this baby. That's why and that's why I believe we got to get off this mama hating shit, because sisters, like I say, are dogged out, especially in this culture, especially in this culture. So that relationship has to be tight, because why? Mothers, since they cultivate the life and bring it up, because many of our mothers could have aborted us. Think about that. I mean, we always bitch and complain about the abortions, but brother, you don't know. You don't know what went in to have these sisters get an abortion. You don't understand how women were going to having 15, 16 kids. And those are the low numbers, to where now sisters aren't even having no kids. That's called genocide. Imagine a woman having 16 children, then then her daughter having 16 or 17 kids, and then her daughter having 16 or 17 kids. Huh? And you dog out women, and you have the audacity to dog out the vehicle that cultivated you to get here. Now I know many of you are weak. Dude, come on. This is what we do. So this is why we have to cultivate these relationships to understand what they are. The women are like the trees. Well, we're all like the trees, but the women are like the trees because the trees' roots connect to other trees, connect to other trees. And these trees are keeping the earth held together. Same thing with us. So we have to cultivate these relationships Now, the relationship is no good for you if you're just doing it for fun or doing something, doing it for artificial ways, superficial means. That shit ain't gonna work. It's already got too much evidence of it not working. If the relationship that you're in aren't working, getting you to the next level, go on and start cultivating better relationships. That's male or female. Just because she got a big butt, that don't mean it's gonna work. You're just trying to pimp her out and show her off, show everybody that you got a girl with a big butt. Yay, motherfucker. Come on. You got to start cultivating these relationships because you're going to have to start cultivating relationships that have some substance to them. We're in that time period now. You see what's the way the world is going. You're going to have to be with people who do not fuck around. So cultivate the relationships. The relationship you have with your mother sets off or set up the relationships you're going to have with other people. So whatever you have with your mama, go ahead and make your peace with it. And don't get me wrong. I realize many mothers are cold blooded, cruel, but that's not your bucket of water to carry. She gonna have to deal with that because whatever you do in life, and see, this is what get the Negro always confused. I didn't know. Look, what goes around comes around. Everything you do is gonna be sat right back in your lap. It may not even be this lifetime, but you're gonna get it back. Relationships with your mother, your wife, your kids, strengthen those relationships on your end. Don't worry about what they do. All you try to be is the best person you can be to that person. If that, if you're not receiving that back, and that's making you stronger to move on to other people, to strengthen relationship, to do things that are going to help you or help your family, and help to grow. If those relationships that you're having aren't doing that, skip, move on. So this is a good time since they done cut off all the basketball. Brothers done lost their mind. I ain't got no basketball. So what are you gonna take that time that you would have been wasting watching those basketball games? Invent a car. Come on. I mean, since you the black man, invent a car. Do something with the time that you would have fucked off watching a basketball game. And we don't know what to do. That says a lot. That says a lot. Other relationships that you have. Okay, so that's the first tier. So mother would be in the first tier of the relationships. Like I say, it's people you see every day, every other day, once a week. But people you talk to and they're friends. You got friends. And just try to be the best friend to them that you can. And when that there's some commonality between there, that bond will grow stronger and you guys can go on and move to do other things, constructive things. It don't mean that you guys can just go out to the club. That's worthless. You can do constructive things. I mean, even if it's just talk, try this best word should come forth. Best ideas should come forth. You sharpening each other's swords. Be the best when you're around everybody. And if you get that back, you'll do something. The second tier of people are people that you don't see every day. They're people that you may have an appointment with all the time, every 3 months or so. People you see like quarterly throughout the year. You don't see them every day, but you see them occasionally. You can call them or whatever, but usually you guys are not in constant contact all the time. They may call and check on you. You guys may be at an event and see each other. You might see each other, while you're out and about. But those relationships need to be cultivated too. Oh, and another thing about those relationships are normally hooked in with other relationships you may have. They may be friends from high school or whatever, somebody that introduced a person to you and you guys got a liking to each other. This is what I mean about cultivating. One of your friends introduced you to somebody he knew and you two became close. It's male or female, it doesn't matter. But you have some commonalities and see things a certain way. And that bond that you guys picked up, that became stronger. That's cultivation. That's part of it. Two people who didn't know each other brought together by another, person in that chain. These are the type of relationships that are going to have to be developed. Telling Stewart said that they're homeschooling and they had home. Now check this out. Homeschooling, home birther, no welfare, no child support. I'm completely committed to this journey with mine. So she's one of the people. Okay, so this sister who just wrote this. So check out what she's doing. She's doing it how her great great grandmama did it. And I don't know how many kids this sister have, but her great great grandmama probably had 20 kids. And they didn't coddle and goo goo gaga these babies. They trained them. Why? Because they needed the hands to work the land. These are the Negroes. These are the African Americans. This is what your foreparents did. But we turn our backs on that and jump straight into Africa. For real, cuz this what we do. Come on, we'll turn our backs on our own, the people who brought us forth, the current that we move through. We'll turn our backs on that and pick up some Christianity and think we're gonna be okay. For real, cuz? I mean, seriously. I mean, seriously. We've cut ourselves off from the planet. We've cut ourselves off from each other. And the only way we're going to have to do is reverse that. Because we've been running from ourselves for way too long. We've been running full sprint away from ourselves for way too long. So those relationships, those secondary relationships, cultivate those too. Make them stronger because what's coming. We're gonna need each other. We're gonna need to be each other. We can't be out here acting a fool now. We're gonna need each other. We're gonna have to cultivate those relationships. I'm not saying get with people who fucked you over early. Let them go. They're marching to their fate. And to the people who always want to fuck up shit and dog people who doing stuff out. Oh, the No Grandma Killers tour is coming up in Atlanta. Let me just take this time to pump this. The No Grandma Killer tour is coming up in Atlanta the first weekend in April, and that's the new year. I would suggest if you can go to go, if you have something to share, because it's down here in the South, brothers can do a whole bunch of stuff with this land. They just really dumb. Seriously, you're on your land and you don't know what to do. Are you crazy? Brothers could world rule the market in solar powered lawnmowers. We don't even think it's possible. We laugh at the idea. And that's what I mean. So cultivate your relationships. Cultivate your relationships. Get with people who are like mine. Get with people who don't watch TV. Get with people who don't watch TV, because the TV is the MK Ultra box. The TV is what tells people to think. That's why when you talk to people, they sound stupid when they talk, because mostly everything they know they get from TV. The way they think, the whole way their lives are set up is a 30-minute sitcom. Then you have your third tier relationships. The third tier relationships are people that you see every now 10 years. You don't see them all the time. You may say hi to them in social media, but you don't see them. Those are your third tier relationship. Even strengthen those for long term, because you guys can have ideas, and these are people who normally, I'm not saying this is all the time, this is normal, that these are people that you grew up with, and you guys have moved on to different phases in your life. You didn't grow apart, you just grew away from each other. You don't see each other on an everyday basis like you used to when you were younger. Cultivate those relationships too. And when I say cultivate, I'm just saying make those relationships stronger. Hey, on your part, on your end, don't worry about what other people are doing, because you have no control over that. And you waste a lot of energy thinking about how that's going to go. On your part, always do the right thing. If you don't know what to do the right thing. This New Year's, the Grandma Killer Tour is going to be in Atlanta on the 4th, 3rd or 4th. We're going to have Phoenix Moon on in a couple of days so she can talk about it. But the Grandma Killers Tour, and my interpretation of the Grandma Killers Tour is Grandma. Who is Grandma? Grandma is the person that everybody loves. Grandma's the person who can make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich taste like steak and eggs. Grandma's who we all love and who we all appreciate. Grandma is the person, even when you acting like an asshole, grandma's the person that's telling you it's going to be all right. And so all women have the potential to be grandmas. Babies being born today, one day is going to be a grandma. These women who are 19 and 20 years old, one day they're going to be a grandma. Your little baby daughter going to be a grandma one day. And the No Grandma Killer Tour means exactly that. Treat the women with respect, man. Because the way you treat that woman is the way somebody is going to treat you one day. And we have to understand what the women mean to us and what we mean to them. So the No Grandma Killer Tour, Atlanta, first weekend, the new year, we have to get in. We as people have to get into the sync of the planet, how the planet is rolling. This is how we should be living our lives. We can't be living our lives by the way other people live their lives, because they use their dogs as a pillow. They don't mind cats walking all in they food, eating out of they don't we don't do that. These people, that this disease that's going on now, this coronavirus, and if you hadn't seen it, check out. I just did a podcast with a New Thunder, and the video he shared how these people eat dogs, rats, snakes, and this was the funny part about it. When he was showing the video, one of the people in the video had their foot on the table with all the blood and stuff on it. These are the people we buy with. These are the people we let move in our communities and give all our money to. Yes, this is normal in African. We go to the African American community has more Chinese food places than they have African American food places, right? Right. This is what we do. So no grandma killer. We're gonna have to have our own stuff, our own hotels. I mean, we in the South. I mean, no hotels. These are the things we're gonna have to start building, so our people can have jobs. Stop spending your money with other people. Spend your money with each other. Matter of fact, later for spending your money, what the first thing we should be doing is creating our own currency. So if you created your own currency, what would the rest of the world do? These are the kind of things we have to start thinking about, y'all. We just can't be. We have to start thinking. You have these ideas in your head. Start cultivating them. Stop always being driven by your emotions. That's what your emotions and thinking. No, they clash. Your emotions are to get things done. We use our emotions for don't even we don't even use it for the right thing. Use your emotions to get things done. Think about what needs to be done. Where are we going now? And some of the things that the so-called African American, no, they're not going to do it. Indigenous people, listen. America is your home. Your great 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 grandpeople is buried in these grounds. You are letting foreigners come and tell you what to do? For real, cuz? I mean, seriously? This where we at? This where we at? So the people who know that America's their home, many of you don't think like that. I understand. Go back to where you say you come from and don't come back. The people who America is your home, you have a duty. Ass is wiggling. Stop playing. Stop lying. Stop trying to not to do anything. You better get up, get out, and do something. Cultivate the relationships all around you, because we seriously zombies. The so-called African American has been turned into zombies. They don't spend time with each other. It used to be a time I walked down the street. Hello, good morning. How you doing? Now we don't even speak to each other on the street. That's being done on. That's what Neely Fuller says when he say you have been trained. We have been trained to be this way with each other. We have been trained with how to speak. We've been trained to use words. We've been trained to use certain sentences and stuff. We don't think of things. We don't have words ourselves. We are doing what the dominant society and the dominant societies that hates the indigenous people of America, and they hate them because the indigenous people of America are normally standing on what they want. So they have to remove you. That's all they ever do. That's all they ever do. But you thinking something else. So they train you in their society on how to act. I mean, we don't have a court system to check the shit that they do. Nah, man, say we can't do that. We don't have an alternative school system that what they teach. We don't have alternatives for that, and we should. So just like the sister who couldn't work on her job no more because she couldn't take the sexual harassment, this happens more often than you think. Sisters in these jobs are getting sexually harassed, and the one sister who says, fuck this, I'm gonna start my own thing, and turns in what she started, it's successful. It's Bombay. She can take care of herself and several of her family members. Because why? She didn't get mad and cuss and all this stuff. She went out and used that energy to create something that was valuable to her family. That's the perfect example on how to do it. We use all our energy to help them build their empires on our land. Where's our empires? I mean, serious. Why do Chinese people have empires on your land and you support them? And they put their feet and all that blood, that bat blood, that dog blood, that cat blood. They walk around in that shit like it's cool. It's not bad to them. It's bad for you because you've been taught otherwise. You've been taught to wash your hands. You get the shit slapped out of you. You walk in your mama's refrigerator without washing your hands. Am I lying? Mama, grandmama standing at the door at the kitchen. Whoever walk in there without washing their hands, you've been outside playing, touching shit, and you bringing that shit in my kitchen? I don't think so. And almost every so-called black, Negro, African American child or person I talk to seconds that motion. Anybody walk in indigenous woman's kitchen without washing their hands, gonna get the riot act read to their ass, right? So now you're buying hair products, you buying food, you buying clothes, you buy you these people. More African Americans have more stuff in their house that was made in China than they do that they built themselves. Amen. This is why you have to go to relationships that you're in, furniture, all that. You got to start building your own stuff because these people, what these people are bringing over, they're bringing over their lifestyles to your land, and that is going to kill your land and your people out. This whole what's this coronavirus is some shit. People eat bats. People eat rats. They don't have the same animals over there that you have over here. They live off the land. It's billions of them. They have to eat what's on the land. And if they can do business in the country, or all you have to do is chop up the meat and you don't have to tell them you can put chicken on it, it can be any damn thing. Go sell it to them dumb niggas over there because they'll eat anything, won't we? Put a lot of sugar on it, put a lot of spices on it, and we cool. And so what? I know Negroes that know. You think Chinese people eat what you eat? They come up from a different part of the world. They have different culture. They don't look at stuff how you look at it. They don't look at Jordans how you look at them. They make them. And these are the people who are over, these people dominate the economic scene of the so-called African American, right or wrong. India, these Arab people that are coming over, these Africans that are coming over, why are they coming over, coming over on you? Because when you talk to the B1 Brigade and the black people, they tell you that Africa is the best place in the world. And I say, if Africa is the best place in the world, why are they fleeing over here? Why are these people coming over here trying to buy up your people's land? How come we don't take the land and use it for something for ourselves? Because Negroes got land, but it's I. It's I got it. They can't cultivate it. They've been so away from. I know brothers that are sitting on hundreds of acres and the land is just dead because they don't move it. They can't organize with the surrounding communities to get something done. And it's just and plus we think of ourselves as one person. We only look at myself through me. It's us. And if you haven't been thinking like that, you better start. You don't look at your finger and say it's a fist. I said you don't look at your finger and say it's a cyst. You don't your finger is part of that fist. And that's how we're gonna have to look at each other. And this is why we have to cultivate these relationships that we're in. Okay, because more the African American community is starting to really get their kick in the ass, and many of them are waking up to what's going on. The ground's gonna quake. You hear me? When these indigenous people realize that, you know what, I've been believing this bullshit. I mean, it's getting to the point where it's undeniable. You have brothers and sisters out there that are doing work. Phoenix Moon's just one of them. Johnny Aborigine, Safa Carew. It's brothers out there killing, killing. Young cats too. Dude, just don't go back and look up the people's name and no genealogy. Go back. Listen, you really want to connect yourself to this land? Go back and find the headstones of your great great grandmama and take a picture. And you will see stuff on the headstones that they were born in the year of the Lord, what, 1781, and died in 1830. You can find them headstones. Go to the places where your people are from. You know, the genealogy has gotten so fucked up that with paperwork, it can always be changed. They can always take out a word or two and put them in, and it's to keep you confused. You're not going to find your people because your people didn't spell their names with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. They didn't do that. That's not them. They didn't come from England. I know many of you wish that's where you come from and you Mary Poppins type shit. Your people didn't do that. Your people were the indigenous people here. Well, what we do here, the rest of the world doesn't do. The indigenous people here didn't write the way Chinese people write. They didn't do it. They had a whole way of doing things that was more aligned to what was going on the earth. This is why I say, find your people. That's why everybody's running over here. Because where they live is so oppressive and stupid, they want to run to the land of your forefathers. And you're welcoming them in with open arms. I hope you guys have a plan for this. Because that's what I want to see. That we are the world attitude. I mean, what the fuck? And everybody's just lining up for what your people left for you. And you cool with it. You don't care. That civil rights bill, that was for you, indigenous people, and it said it for you. You. And how you just let everybody walk in and get from it, and you sitting up watching the game? For real, though? Seriously? Cultivate the relationships with the people around you. Don't worry about them. Just leave them on a good vibe and move on and continue doing what you came here to do. And many of us are going to have to look at that. Why are you here? You are going to have to answer that question yourself. Why are you here? Nothing else matters now. Nothing that you could ever think of matters till you answer, why are you here? And are you doing Why? The reason for why you are here. Are you working in that direction? Are you here to fuck shit up? A lot of people are. That's what makes this place so cool. You can always change. You have the flexibility to change your mind, change your ways. You don't have to do the same shit over and over again. You see how it hurts other people. You see how it's not cool. You can learn to be a better person, to do the right thing. You can learn. It's as simple as raising your hand. Serious, that simple. But we let emotions get in the way and let emotions cause control our thoughts and our feelings, and that's not cool. And it's not cool. So cultivate the relationships with the people around you. You be a good person. If they're not a good person to you, move on. There ain't nothing to get pissed off about. So listen, this is a fucked up system that we live in, and everybody sees it. If you don't see it, look. All you got to do is open your eyes. Be the best person that you can be. Be the person that when your mama was pregnant with you, she was hoping for something great. Be that and watch how things turn for us. Thank you for joining us today. Now get to church. I know y'all ready to get to church. Go fill that basket up. All right, we'll see you next time. Peace.